Tamasatu ma sadgamaya Tamashu ma jyotirgamaya Mrityorma amritam gamaya Abir Maiti Rudro Yakte Dakshinang Mukham Te Namang Pahi Nityam Te Namang Pahi Nityam Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light and illumination. Lead us from death to immortality, and evermore shine in our hearts with your resplendent face. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. Welcome you all. We are now in the Santi Gita, the Song of Peace, and we are reading chapter 1. We have finished verse number 41. So what we have read, probably you all remember, but forgotten maybe. So I will try to link together where we ended. The first, there we ended here. See, Arjuna in verse number 35 said that you say all these philosophical things. I understand, but my heart cannot forget the bereavement and it cannot stand all this separation, etc. So please help me to get out of my pain and bereavement. Then Bhagavan said, and what he said, your mind is tormented by sorrow and distress. That is why you are feeling the flame of burning in your heart. You are the seer. Just understand, you are not what is going on in your mind. You are the observer of your mind. And you are really not the mind. So because you think that you are mind, anything happening to the mind, you are feeling that I am affected. Next verse says, from the logic, very logic, that is seer, because the seer and seen are two different things. One is the object, one is the subject. Because they are so, you are separate. Because you are observing your mind. You say, my mind is in bereavement. So you are not the mind, your mind. You are saying your mind. Then observer and observed. These are the things to be understood, separate. Due to lack. Why they got jumbled up? Because due to lack of discrimination, you are not able to discriminate, separate out. Therefore, you are putting one thing with the other thing. Your mind is disturbed, you say, I am disturbed. Why do you say I am disturbed? Your mind is not you. You say your mind, my pain, my table, my room is not I room, is not I table, is not I pain. So this is wrong interpretation. Try to analyze that. Because you don't do, lacking in discrimination, you have become the mind. And you're thinking, I am tormented, when the mind is actually experiencing that pain. Then, last 38 and 39 verse, there, Sri Krishna said that your inner organ is one, and that is endowed with 4 functions. The same. Antakarana, inner, karana means organ, instrument. The inner instrument. What is the inner instrument? It has 4 functions. Mano, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. The mind takes the form of resolution. Intelligence does act of decision making. Memory stuff does the inquiry. What is the old, what is new, they inquire and match. And ego gives you identity. So these 4 functions of the mind, One is called mind, which is actually the making resolution. I shall do this. Shall I do this? Shall I do? Shall I go? Shall I eat? Shall I sleep? Shall I? All this non-decisional thing is mind. When it makes a resolution or decision, this is called the intellect, buddhi. Yeah? Mind, intellect. Mind is here in our Indian mind. American mind is here. So terminological difference. Please understand this distinction. Mind is the emotional aspect which is resolved, cannot resolve anything. Intellect, that we call mind in the Western world, this is called mind. Mind is decisive. I will do this. And then memory. Memory is the inquiry side. I inquire. I saw somebody, and then my memory, I go back and recollect. Oh, what is what? Messing. And you say, oh, this is called job. And lastly, ego, I, consciousness. So these are the function of the one mind. And the ego gives identity. In this inner organ is made of 5 elements. And how the mind, intellect, etc. are made, 5 elements have created this thing. What? Air, water, fire, space, and air, earth. So the 5 elements, this has constituted your physical body. Subtle part of that is making your mind. That's why it is we emphasize so much in the vegetarianism and others come here. Because what food you take, that has 2 aspects. One aspect, it makes the physical body, this body, flesh, bone, muscles, etc. But the subtle part of it makes your mind. So if the subtle part is mind, so you take such food which is innocent and not harming anyone, with the less trouble, then that creates your better mind. So that's why there comes also who have touched your food. The subtle part of the food is going in to create your mind. So there is the science behind this mind become how to make the mind pure. That's why I say I am fasting. That's why I say I don't take fish, I don't take this. Meaning I am not hurting anyone, less possible, least disturbance I want to create. So therefore my mind will be subtle mind, will be pure mind, purer mind. That's why we take prasad. Whatever we eat, we offer it to God, thinking that this food will be purified. So that is the idea. Now 40th verse. Now. So now 40th verse says, now today, we have read the 40th verse also. 40th verse said that as a man knows the part of the body that is burned by fire, similarly you also know your mind is caused by grief, is it not? Suppose you put your hand in the fire. You know what you know? You know the part of the body that is burned by fire, not you. One part of your whole body is burnt. Similarly, you know that your mind is getting scorched, but you have lost your analytical mind. You are thinking you are getting scorched, where your mind is a part of you. That part is about getting in pain or in bereavement. You are interpreting as it is you are yourself suffering. So this is separation, how you understand it. That it is mind is suffering, not you, to emphasize that idea. Then 41 verse we have read also, that dagdhastu jatha loko dagdho ahomiti mannate aviveka tatha suka tapto ahomiti mannase. Last we read it. This is the 41 verse. As one thinks, I am burnt, where in reality his hand is only burnt. Similarly, due to lack of discernment, due to lack of analytical faculty or discrimination, you also thinking, I am getting scorched by grief, while your mind is getting deep-stricken. Got it? Point? Yeah, we are always making this mistake. Actually, it is happening in a part of my whole personality. No, you get I got puzzled. I know the answer, but I could not respond that time. That means your intellect is not functioning perfectly, but you think I lost it. No? Always we are making this mistake. When our mind is suffering, I say I am suffering. When my body is in pain, I am in pain. Normal statement. Oh, I am in pain. I am in not pain. My feet is in pain. My hand is in pain. I am using the tongue. Now, let us start now today from 42 verse. This book entirely is a Vedantic book, is all the books talking about the same thing. Uh, we, we always sometimes think that keyboard.
You having trouble with the internet also? Some people are saying that Vedanta, voice Vedanta is also having. We have some issues with the internet. Is going down, up and down.
Oh, okay, internet is going up and down. Don't give up. Hold on. Yeah.
We're trying to work on it.
We are trying to work. Change the yeah.
I've been doing that, but still.
Okay. Mother does not want sometimes. Instead of our effort. Okay. Ah.
Okay, that's good.
So now we are reading the 42nd verse, the same as I was saying. How? Yeah, that's true. If you find any of problem in one YouTube channel, which is we are working on two YouTube channel now. One is Voice of Vedanta, another Vedanta.org. So if you miss one, try the other. Jagrati jayamanam tat Jagrati jayamanam tat Shushupto liyate punaha. You have no material in your hand? No? Okay. Shushupto Jagrati jayamanam tat Jagrati, say at least. Jagrati jayamanam tat Shushupto liyate punaha. Shushupto liyate punaha. Tang cha pashyasi bodhastvam. Tang cha pashyasi bodhastvam. Namanoshi shugalaya. Namanoshi shugalaya. Jagrati jayamanam tat. Jagrati means the waking state, in this state. Jayamanam is born, that which is born. Susupto, in deep sleep, when you go to deep sleep, what happens? Now everything is happening. When you go to deep sleep, what happens? In deep sleep, liyate, as if everything dissolves. Where does it go? It's a very important point. When we are awake, just now we are awake, this whole world is here. And everything is serious. It is heat, it is cold, it is something is good happening, bad happening. Everything is real. But just in the suppose when I go to sleep, what does this vanish? It dissolves. So susupto liyate. Again, punaha, Tom, you, pasasi, you are seeing when? Bodhaha, when you are conscious. Tom, na manaha osi sugalaya. This, you are not mind. When you will be awakened in your knowledge, then you will find that you are not the mind. You are just imagining a misconception about yourself. And it was happening this world, this mind, which is the cause and source of all afflictions, abode of all afflictions. So, this is a very important point to think about, that every day to meditate on this realistic point, that when we are awake now, everything is so real and we are really affected by it. We are happy, we are unhappy, we are frustrated, we are angry. All this emotional thing is going on. And actually, it is so serious that we feel its pain and suffering. But now, if I go to deep sleep, immediately everything vanishes. So, what a miracle! Where does it go? Where this universe of sorrow, suffering, happiness, joy dissolve into it? Similarly, now you are seeing this world to be true. When you are awakened in your consciousness, when you know yourself, then you see that all this duality have vanished. Your mind has vanished. If the mind is vanished, then if the mind, so long mind is there, you are feeling all this. If the mind is not there, you don't feel anything. Therefore, the world does not exist. And therefore, your suffering is also imaginary. This is a very uh, big thing to understand, that everything, your happiness is also imaginary, your mind is imaginary, your sorrows are also imaginary. Because mind is not you. Your mind, like a tool, like a pen, like a car, like your shirt, like your dress, like your shoes, like your eyeglass. You are not the eyeglass, your eyeglass. So similarly, this world, that is separation is there, but this juxtaposition. That's why Vedanta says, Anna Anya Adhyaropa. Anyas means one thing is juxtaposed on the other. The gross example, there is a piece of rope, and we juxtapose, we imagine there is a snake. Sometimes we see that. The example is given that when you find that there is a bucket of water and take a stick and put into the water, you see it is broken. In a certain part, it is broken. You see that. But it has not broken, really. It's an illusion. Similarly, this world is broken. It is united. This is happy. This is unhappy. They are all your imposition, superimposition. So, if you understand, then what is happening in your mind? It is just an imagination. You are not that. You are unaffected. Don't think at all that anything has happened to you. It has happened to your mind, which is unreal, which comes and goes. So 44, next verse. Sarvang pashyasi sakshi tvam, sarvang pashyasi sakshi tvam, tava shuka kathang vada, tava shukam kathang vada, shuko manomayo koshe, shuko manomayo koshe, mayo koshe, shuko manomayo koshe, দুঃখাদি সরি না কি হলো সুষুপ্ত মানসে লীনে আমরা কি 43rd পড়ছি, we are reading 43rd. I went to 44, so I am reading the next part. সুষুপ্ত মানসে লীনে, সুষুপ্ত মানসে লীনে, ন শোক অপি অনুমাত্রকাঃ, न शोक अपि अनुमात्रकाः, जाग्रति शोक दुःखादि भवेत्, जाग्रति शोक दुःखादि भवेत् मनसि चोत्थिते, भवेत् मनसि चोत्थिते, Sushuptau Manashiline. When you go to Sushupti, Sushupti means deep sleep. Manashiline, your mind gets totally dissolved. No shoko. There is no trace of any bereavement. Onumattuk, even the least, there is no shoka. A person who has really, sometimes doctors do that when they find that some person because of bereavement is so severe that they cannot withstand. So doctors sometimes put them to sleep to forget that extreme condition. That means when they are putting the mind to sleep, when the mind is put to sleep, then what happens? When the mind is put to sleep, then your experience of happiness, misery, which was happening in the mind, also goes away. So therefore, susupto manashiline, when the mind is dissolved in deep sleep, na shoko opi, onumatraka, there is no trace of grief at all. Similarly, jagrati, shukadukhadi, in the waking state. Now, when the mind is aroused, when mind comes up, suppose I am sleeping, I wake up in the morning, then jagrati, when we wake up, then shukadukhadi, the same happiness, misery, bereavement, loss, gain, all the emotions, the spring, as if it was pressurized spring, and the weight is lifted, it springs up. So this is it is happening where? In your mind only it is happening. That means all this is happening in your mind, it is coming out of the mind, it is entering into the mind, it is dissolving into the mind. So take care of the mind. And that's why whole spiritual life is only dealing with the mind. Yeah. So that's why you see meditation. Meditation, what do you do? Train the mind that God is real or all others are. You analyze with the help of mind. This is true, this is untrue. All prayer, we say, remove the dust and dirt of your mind. By praying and crying and weeping for God, so mind becomes clean. So all are dealing with the mind. Mind shows this universe. Mind feels that I am in bereavement. Mind feels that I am happy, unhappy. That's why we also feel that we are unhappy, happy. So it is susupto manaseline, manaseline. In the time of deep sleep, when mind gets dissolved, then the person shoko matro, even the shoko means bereavement, onumatro, not even a trace, little bit of that can be found. And jagrati shukadukhadi, when you wake up again, all this happiness and suffering, it is springs up. How? Manasi, in your mind it comes up. 43. Now 44. Sarvam pasyasi sakshi tvam, sarvam pasyasi sakshi tvam, tava shuka kathang vada, tava shukam kathang vada, shuku manomayi koshe, shuku manomayi koshe, dukkha udvega bhayadikam, dukkha udvega bhayadikam. So what does it say? Sarvang pasyasi. You are seeing everything, is it not? I am seeing this table, I am seeing this fuse, I am seeing the microphone, I am seeing the chandelier, I am seeing the photos, I am seeing the temple. I am seeing only sarvam. Sarvang pasyasi. You see everything. Because you see everything, you are the witness. So you are the witness. Tavo Shoka, then how can be your shoka, your bereavement? Katham, tell me how and where your bereavement comes in the picture. So, shoko manomaya koshe. all this suffering you are having, it is in your mental sheath. It is called mental sheath. Mental sheath. We have 5 sheaths. Annamaya, the physical body. Manomaya, in the mind. Vijnanamaya, in the intellect. Pranamaya, in the energy body. And ego body. So, these are the 5 coverings over the Atman. So, therefore, but you are the Saksi, you are the witness of all these things. So it says, Sarvam Pasyashi. You are seeing, because you see everything, therefore you are the seer. You see that you are the seer. So you see the physical body, physical everything, that you are a seer of your physical objects. You see your mind is restless. When you meditate, you see your mind is going everywhere. You see that. You observe that's a mindfulness meditation. What is mindfulness meditation? They only just see and observe. Let mind go here and there and there. That means mind is running, not you. You are observing it. Sheer. So that's the idea. Sarvam Pasyasi. Everything is you are seeing. Saksi. Then you are the witness. Tava Shoka. Your Shoka, your bereavement, your suffering. Katham. How? Tell me, Bada. Tell me, oh Arjuna, where is your suffering? Where is your bereavement? It is impossible to have it because you are the witness consciousness. Shoko, monomaya. But then where I am feeling the Shoka, I am feeling the bereavement, I am feeling the pain, agony of separation. Well, that is happening in your monomaya, in your the covering, the sheath, in your mental plane. It is happening in your mental plane, not in your spiritual plane, not in your conscious plane. So you understand which plane it is working. You are mixing up two things. As if the conscious plane is your own plane. No, conscious plane remains witness always. It does not do anything. Mind is affected and mind is getting the pain. You are putting it on the Atman. It is like blaming somebody for something where the blame should go to the other person. So it should go to the mind and it is now transferred to the Atman. And as a result, you weep and cry. Sarvam Pasyasi Sakshitvam Tava Shoka Katham Madam. Shoka is Manamaya Kose. And as a result, what is happening? You are having dukkha, suffering, udvega, anxiety, bhaya, fear. My son is gone. What will happen? Tomorrow's war. With such a warrior gone. Your udveg and anxiety. Suffering, anxiety, and fear, etc., all come because of the effect of the mind.
Maharaj, both of the channels are not working because there's a problem on YouTube. YouTube itself, not even Vedanta at all.
Oh. So you cannot do anything.
No,
I turned the recording on. That was we should have immediately. Because anyhow, it's being recorded here, so the rest of the class can be uploaded.
Or we can do it, redo it again.
I think so.
Because if it is not
neither side is working.
Neither side is working. So yeah. Okay, Chale. So 44th verse then says that you are the witness of everything you see. Tell me, where is your bereavement? Bereavement is in the mental sheath that generates suffering, anxiety, fear, and similar such things. So you are not in this physical plane. It is you are in the mental plane. So think that if it is happening in the mental plane, you solve it in the mental plane. Someone has done something and you go to kill somebody else. Will that solve the problem? Here, all this duality, all this suffering, all this bereavement, all our regular lives, things are happening uh, where it is not happening in the Atman, but it is happening in our mind. So we should be very clear that whatever is happening in our life, mostly it is at mental level. That's why we call Manush. The awareness is not in the real nature, but is in the physical level or mental level or emotional level or intellectual level. That is our world. What can we do? So, what shall I do now?
Maybe we can do it next.
Next we'll do.
People will not be able to ask
Yeah, no one
questions.
will get it. So, I'm sorry what to do. Let me finish and then we will start again. Next day again, we will repeat this. Next verse says that 45 verse. Sarupo anabodhena Sarupa anavobodhena tadatma adhyasa yogataha tadatma adhyasa yogataha avivekan manodharmam avivekan manodharmyam matva chatmani shochasi matva chatmani shochasi. So what is happened? Sarupa anubhavedana. You forgot what is your real nature. Our real nature is pure. Our real nature is stainless, birthless, deathless. You have forgotten. That's Sarupa anubhavedana. It is a lack of the knowledge that I am the Atman. I don't die. My real nature is untouched by any sin, untouched by any fear. That we are not aware. We have forgotten that identity. So due to lack of the knowledge of yourself, and second, not only we don't know, we have put our wrong idea on something else. Two mistakes happen. One, not knowing the real nature of ourselves. And not only that, thinking that this is my nature. Not knowing the rope is one aspect. Thinking that it is snake is another aspect. Two things are working together. So for us also, I am Atman, I am Brahman, I am pure. This has been forgotten. And on the opposite, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm happy, I'm unhappy, I'm in pain, I'm in misery. All these have been added to myself. This is not the characteristic of the self, but it is the characteristic of the body. True. So long body is there. Say dead body. Dead body does not cry, oh, I have pain in my knees. Huh? Dead body does not say, I have high blood pressure. Huh? But so long the consciousness is there. They are saying, oh, I have a blood pressure. But that is not I, the Atman, it is in the body. But we make a mistake always. Similarly, something happening in the mind, something happening in my understanding, something happening in my what you call emotional performance, and so this is the mistake. Two mistakes are happening: one, not knowing what is the reality, and putting something on someone, juxtaposing something on something else which is not the truth. So it says due to lack of real self, knowledge about real self, false identification of the mind with the self, and due to lack of proper discernment by superimposing the characteristic of the mind upon the self. Here, the characteristic of the mind has been imposed on the self. And self is what we do not know. So, therefore, you are overwhelmed with grief. These are things to be meditated. These are things to be analyzed in the mind. No? It is too superficial if we just think like just not paying much attention and focusing on it. It is to be thought very deeply. Every day we can think. For our every movement we can think. I am getting affected. Why? What is the reason of my getting affected? So we cannot have any question answer also.
Yeah, guys have any
Because
questions?
nobody can watch it.
Nobody can see, nobody can hear. Bas, tale.
So their eyes cannot see, their ear cannot hear. They are not.
Oh, their eyes cannot see, their ears cannot hear, their Atman. Yes. Yeah. Saying,
Eye of the eyes, the ears, the ear.
yeah, eye of the eye. Okay. So, anything? Any question?
Any
We can have any question? Last verse I also read once. I will read again. 46 verse. Shokam tarati cha atmagga. Shokam tarati cha atmagya. Shruti vakyam vinishchinu. Shruti vakyam vinishchinu. Atah prajatnoto vidwan. Atah prajatnato vidwan. Atmanam vitti falguna. Atmanam vitti falguna. Oh Arjuna, so therefore, Shokam tarati cha atmagga. In the Upanishad, it has been said, only the knower of truth, atmagga, those who know the self, what is the self, that person only can cross or overcome the sorrows and sufferings of life. And in Hindu culture, Upanishad is the proof. That is the final word regarding spirituality. So Upanishad is authenticity. Upanishad says you cannot overcome bereavement or pain or agonies in no other way. It may go, it will come back again, like a gout. It goes from the hand, it goes to the leg, leg to the toe moves to another hip. So it moves everywhere, it does not leave us. It will remain with us. But real solution is that when you know that you become Atman, Sukam Tarati. The real verse is there, Atmavit, Sukam Tarati Atmavit. Therefore, what is the duty of us? Therefore, Ataha Prajatnato, with much effort. Oh, Vidwan, you are a wise person. We are all educated people. You understand so much. You are wise, oh wise Arjuna, Atmanam Vitti. Bas, only one word. Know thyself. That's the last one of this chapter. So after saying so much, conclusion is that know thyself. So we can end here then. Our class will be ended today quickly. Unless
That's the
you
fastest.
want to say anything. Vedanta is a very beautiful subject, no? Is how many people have thought over it. But very simple but very complicated. Many simple things are very complicated. You know, those who are writers, how many people can write simple sentence? Complex and compound sentence, everyone can write. But those who can write simple language, simple sentence, they are called mastermind. No? So simple cooking. which will be very healthy, and how many people do that? But simple should be simple. But we don't also like simple food. So we like spice, we like sweet, we like other things. That's why that's the spice of life. So to be, and Ramakrishna said, you cannot reach God who is simple without simplicity of your mind. Your crooked mind. Crooked mind means not seeing the thing rightly. Crooked means what? You see this thing straight, now you way and distort it and see. That's the crooked mind. So we are always, why? We don't see God. We see other things. So that is the point. Ramakrishna said, sorrow, who is very guileless, is very simple, he realizes God. There is a story now. Once Swami Vivekananda was in the wandering days, going from one place to another. And then he saw that one Pandit is reading Sri Ram, Gita, Bhagavad Gita. And most ordinary person, he was sitting there and he was weeping. Then Swamiji asked him, hey, what is going on? Do you understand what he is speaking? No, sir, I don't understand anything. But I am seeing that Krishna is standing there and giving advice to Arjuna. So he has his mind so simple. Why to go for so many advice? Seeing God is the question, no? So he has so much faith, simple mind, that he's seeing God himself. Ramakrishna's mother, Sri Ramakrishna's mom, she was so Chandra Devi. She was very guileless, simple. In the village, everyone used to say that here is a lady who cannot keep any secret. Anything you tell, it will be already gone. There are some people, no, they cannot keep in their stomach. And whatever, she will be very open and say. That's why she used to, in this open eyes, to see gods and goddesses approaching. So, because of the purity, what tapasya she has done, austerity. She was standing in front of the Shiva temple, and suddenly a beam of light from Shiva engulfed everything and entered into her. How many people are seeing this type of thing? What is the cause of it? Simplicity. She had believed that noontime she will eat only when there is a whistle, siren. What is that? There is a jute mill near Dakshineshwar, far away, Alam Bazar. And that jute mill, noontime, shifting the batches, they used to have a whistle, shrill whistle. And she used to say, it's a Krishna's flute, Vaikuntha, whose
Narayan is lunching.
now there is not this sound she compared with the Lord's whistle. So that she will not eat unless that she listens to that whistle. It is really foolish to think like that. But her mind is so simple. It's as if God is playing the flute and she will eat. Then after listening to that, then have time for lunch.
Jesus said in the Bible, unless you become like little children, you cannot attain the kingdom of God.
Ah,
You don't get much simpler than a child.
right. The Bible is there, yeah. Unless you become like a child, childlike simplicity. Ramakrishna said. But simple is very difficult to be simple. Because our mind, the mind means crooked.
Complex.
Complex and crooked. That's why purification of the mind, purification of the mind, purification of the mind. If mind is purified, you see God everywhere. All problems are solved. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. কি আর এটা হলো না তুমি
বলতে যখন নিশ্চয়ই রহস্য